It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles per hour here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions, and watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and that final chicane. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, George Russell and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, Norris, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Magnussen, Bottas, Stroll, Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou, Latifi, Albon, Richard Verschoor and the owner-driver. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And a warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Can I get your take on Ferrari? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Okay, so let's go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs. Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Okay, we've reached a worrying level of wear on the internal combustion engine. Let's try and keep the revs down. Early upshifts, later downshifts, please. Right, let's focus now for the rest of the race. Accumulating somewhere on the MG UK. To manage this, we're going to need to lower our ERS deployment mode. Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Brilliant, nice move. Keep going. Okay, gap ahead is 12.0 seconds. They're in 9th place. The difference is 25.8 seconds. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 14.5. gap to the car in front is 14.5 seconds. Currently trailing our teammate by 15.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 12th, and the time last lap was a 1:15.6. We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 16.1 seconds. Strategy available on the MFD. Understood, copy that. Vettel is in the pits. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Gap to your teammate ahead is 19.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 11th. Time last lap was a 1 minute 15.8. Richard's in the pits. Richard is in the pit lane now. Our gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Currently trailing our teammate by 24.2 seconds. Our gap behind is 2.3 seconds. gap to your teammate ahead is 26.2 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're in 11th. Your last lap time was a 1:14.5. Okay, gap ahead is 1.6 seconds. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Okay, the officials have deployed the safety car due to multiple cars being stopped on track. Mind your delta. And we're in P20. P20. Bottas is ahead of you now. And gap to the car in front is 2.3 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. And Schumacher's behind you. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. All right, 16 laps to go. Right, the safety car's waiting for the leader. You can overtake it. Overtake the safety car. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Bottas ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 23.1 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres, and the time last lap was a 1:18.6. All right, at the moment you're losing 0.3 a lap. Come on, dig in. Latifi is behind you now. Okay, the gap behind is 30.7 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:38.9. Bottas is ahead of you now. Our gap to the car in front is 25.0 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 19.0. You're gaining by 2 seconds a lap. Amazing. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember there's no overtaking until the timing line. Safety car in this lap. We're currently trailing our teammate by 5.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. They're in 12th, and the time last lap was a 1:38.5. Use your overtake button more. Good job, nice overtake. Caution, caution. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Gap to your teammate ahead is 4.0 seconds. And some information on Leclerc. They're retiring from the race. Green flag. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Copy that. Okay, gap ahead is 4.6 seconds. We're currently trailing our teammate by 10.4 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. They're in 11th. Time last lap was a 1 minute 14.8.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. And with his performance today, Carlos Sainz assumes the top spot in the championship standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Often, my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One, so be sure to join us for the next one.